So we will watch this, neither showing their ranks. So we don't know what to expect, but apparently, I mean, the first game I ever casted was a Masters level player, and he rushed Planetary Fortress at his natural, and Masked Ravens, like I said earlier. So anything is possible at any level. But the red Protoss we have ImnotChobo in the bottom right. And in the upper left we have Emiya, the blue Terran. And so we open up the production tab for future reference, and we speed this up a bit. Just to see their starting builds. Nobody's doing a scout too early, so there's no cheese. It's a lot harder to cheese on these 4-player maps, because you don't know necessarily where the other person spawns. I don't believe that cross spawns are forced on these maps like they used to be on map like Shakur's Plateau. We do see a proxy barracks in the center of the map, 2 of them actually, because he doesn't know where his Protoss opponent is. Excuse me. So he's going to scout with this SCV afterwards probably, and try to find out where he is, and with both of those, if he sends them into 2 different locations, he's going to find where the Protoss is regardless. Because if he's not here or here, then he knows he's going to be in the bottom right. So not the safest version of a 2 wraps. It is a bit awkward to do it in the center of the map, but he is going to scout the upper right and the bottom left, knowing, and then he will soon figure out that the Protoss is in the only other applicable position. Protoss not making any units yet. He doesn't know about this. He did scout the Terran base, however, and saw no buildings whatsoever. So he does know that something's going to be coming, or there's going to be an early expand, but he did just scout the natural and saw no command center being built. The supply drop this early shows that there is going to be a cheese. That's something that you can tell. And all these Marines and SCVs going down here now that he knows where the Protoss is. Might be pretty hard for him to pull to defend against. If he had enough gas, I would say go for the Mothership Core and get that energy for Photon Overcharge, but he has not reached that point yet, making a Stalker and queuing up another one. Hopefully the dog isn't too loud, but ow. We have the bunker being set up, and the Stalker about to kill 1 Marine. These probes going out to try to scare them off. They are going to kill this SCV before the bunker is made. That'll be very helpful. Microing this Stalker, or killing this SCV with a probe, and then getting the Marines with the Stalker and probes. He is going to lose a lot here, but the Terran is behind just because of the build that he went, so it's okay to lose a few probes. Let's look at the units lost tab to see 3 probes have been killed compared to 2 SCVs. That seems to be basically all that's died. Maybe a few Marines have fallen. I don't know. He didn't lose either Stalker, so only a few probes fell, and he did fend off against this 2 rats aggression very, very well. No need for any Mothership Core. He sees the expansion going down, and it has to be lifted up and moved over closer to the optimal position. That will be soon. The Barracks flying back to the main base, so that way they cannot be picked off by the Stalkers that are coming out. Mothership Core going down, and a 3rd Stalker going out. This is bringing more into the normal aggression that I like to use against Terran. Of course, I don't normally get 2 rest and then forced into something like this. But we will see the Nuts going down at the natural as well as a pylon. Doesn't want to get supply blocked. He is on par with the Terran. Terran throwing down a bunker at the ramp to his natural to hold off against this aggression coming. He does see the Stalkers with the Marines and the Barracks. 3rd one coming in, and the Mothership Core, he might be able to do something, but it's going to be hard regardless with that many Marines. The 2nd gas coming down from the Protoss. Nothing else really going on. The base for the Terran, the natural, is going to be up much sooner, but he does have to fly it over, so there is that much time taken off of the mining possibility. Supplies still even. Council goes down for the Protoss. He could go into Charge Lot Archon, something that I really enjoy. He could go just straight into DTs and try to force scans out and keep the Terran onto a low economy game. Either way is applicable. Tech Lab going down on a Barracks, I would assume, and that's going to get Stim and Marauders. Marauders very good against Protoss, especially in the early game where you can kite or kill Stalkers much faster, and if you get that slow, you can catch them out of position. Forge going down. He probably wants to get that armor upgrade pretty soon. Not starting anything from the console right away. He is going to scan this natural though, so he knows that's out, and these Marines moving out, seeing the Stalkers. So we have reactors coming out, so a lot of Marines will be on the way. Still just Marines. I figured that a few Marauders would be worked in there, but it looks like he's just in a mass Marines for a bit. Engineering bay going down for those upgrades, possibly for a missile turret. Dart Shrine is started, so that will be very helpful if he does get one down, just to be safe. Desperation DTs as well as just DT expands are very strong. I don't... Desperation DT, that was more of me just thinking of the last game. This is definitely not anywhere near the same scenario. So he's just going to use these to try to be safe, use scans, force those instead of mules to keep Terran in an equal position or lesser. So we have +1 attack coming from the Protoss, and as well as from the Terran, and that's going to help them both pretty well, but the upgrade for Protoss is usually the armor one. That's what I see much more often. Scan does go down. We do have nothing else really going. Stim about to finish up here soon. A missile turret is going down at the bunker line. That's going to really put a damper on the Protoss's day with those Dark Templars. So he can make those into Archons once he does scout that, so that way they don't go to complete waste, or deny a third base with those Dark Templars. Either way, the more scans he forces out, the better. He has just... supplies are basically even. Those Dark Templars going out now. He will pull this back, hopefully not just run those straight into the bunker line. Excuse me. He is taking a third behind this. He does force the Terran to be a lot safer, make more missile turrets, as well as use those scans when he's moving out, so he can feel much safer in taking this third behind these DTs. These Stalkers, he's not really making many other units. He is starting charge, very helpful in his Terran. And that +1 attack about to finish up soon. We'll see what upgrade he goes for next. The factory flying over for that scout. These Dark Templars being scanned, he might... Okay, he loses one, but he does force a scan and the stim. And the Medevat's only just now coming out, so those will be healed up. But the Dark Templar did force out one scan. That's pretty good. We'll see if the Terran does scan again. He has no... Oh, he has energy for one, but he might want to just use that on a mule. Terran has gotten farther ahead in terms of supply, though, because he has not taken that third base and because the Dark Templars are such a big investment. No other upgrades coming from the Forge just yet. More gateways going down, however. He wants to have a decent gateway force. He is probably going to go into some form of Archon tech pretty soon. Yeah, there goes one right now. And the third base is now going with those gases already set up. Combat shields for the Marines coming as the Terran moves out. The factory coming along for the show. He's going to pick up a few transferring probes. The Photon Overcharge used a little bit early. Usually Terran would just bait that out and then run back. The Dark Templars in this army are going to bait out another scan if he does realize that they are there. He does not realize them yet, but they are doing a lot of damage. He scans just too late and he wastes the scan. The Dark Templar is doing so much damage beforehand. 2 kills, 4 kills, and I couldn't see the other one before it got merged into an Archon. This Photon Overcharge being used just to kill the Marauder and possibly a Medevac. Does he get it? No, such low health. It had 2 health on it. This factory being taken out, he will need to make another one if he wants that starport, if he wants any more of those. He does make the armory before it drops, though. That's very smart, so that way he can get those level 2 and 3 upgrades here soon, once the other ones wrap up. Factory does go down, more Dark Templars being warped in. He's going to have quite a few of those, actually, and he is on par in supply, just above his Terran opponent. +2 attack and +1 armor on the way for the Protoss, both about to finish up soon. Robo going down. He is going to probably switch over into that Robo tech, or at least get the observers out. Very helpful for that scouting, so that way you know when drops are about to come. And a lot of Terrans, myself included, do not repair their Medevats. It's just something that you forget about, or you don't remember. I don't know the reasoning behind it, but yeah, that would be much more effective, because that will die in one hit from literally anything that can shoot up. We will see, though. This Medevac going over here with a very small drop, only half filled up, but the Protoss does seem to realize it. He does have a drop going down into his natural base. The probes run away. The Marines getting quite a few kills. 15 probes have died altogether, compared to only 3 SCVs at that original 2 rats aggression. Drop in the third is taken out between cannons and a DT. The Mothership Core doing its best to defend, and the drop gets cancelled. It's just taken out, deleted from the game by those Archons. Observer coming out, Chrono boosted out so that way he can get the vision on the map. Another medevac with 2 Marines desperately trying to squeeze their way in there, but they cannot manage. He does scan this army. He sees the Archons that he already knows about, so there's nothing really gained from that scan otherwise, except for knowing where that army is. These SCVs moving out to take a 3rd base, but the DT is here. If he was on hold, or if he was in just 2 feet over, he could have stopped it from landing, but either way, this will be effective and force out a scan, and he will kill at least 3 to 4 workers. Unless he just leaves. Why is he just leaving? And he cancels. What are you doing? Terran. So that DT gets out of there for free. He knows the 3rd base timing exactly. He knows where the Terran army is. He does throw down 4 more gateways, that +3 attack almost halfway done, and the +2 armor almost complete. He is switching into Ghost Tech, probably seeing those Archons, thinking that he needs some way to take care of their shields, but he will get there soon. We see a medevac going through the main and into the natural. He's going to fly right above this army. I don't know. He has no units over here to kill it, and no blink. So that does get away, but that was very risky trip for that medevac. I would like to fire that pilot. But we see 4th base going down for the Protoss at the same time as Terran only just now saturating that 3rd base. So he is very far ahead in terms of economy. We can look at the unit count and see 78 probes to 63 SCVs. Even with the mules, you do want to keep even SCVs, or close to it. Robotics Bay going down, almost finishing up here. He will start that Colossi production. That TET switch being very important. The Terran only has the 1 starport, and I don't know if he even remade his factory to make any more. So he will only have 1 starport and be able to make 2 Vikings at a time once he scouts the actual Robotech. All the Colossi and the upgrade, as well as +3, is on the way. A lot of Zealots warping in with that charge. They will be very, very good for tanking, even if he transitions into Colossi. He doesn't need to worry about too many Vikings just yet because he has not been scouted at all. Another robotics going down so we can double produce these. That'll be very helpful, getting that up that much faster in case of any attack like we see now coming out from the Terran. Moving out with 4 Ghost in that army. And this is seen by the Protoss with that Dark Templar that was at the tower. So he will see this army, he will know that it's moving out, and he will react accordingly. Supplies are about even. He will have 1 Colossi out with probably range done. He has 3 Robos out now, but he is supply blocked for the time being. This army moving dangerously close to the Protoss army. You don't want to have that split up. You want to have everything together. Still no pylons going down. Terran does retreat. He didn't expect the Colossi, so he does start 2 Vikings and ship weapons immediately. You want to upgrade your ship weapons against Protoss for those Vikings, otherwise you're doing such minimal damage to the Colossi that it's very ineffective and your Vikings become very inefficient, and you need that many more to take down those Colossi before they just tear apart your entire bio army. These probes should be being transferred rather soon. You will get that notification of the mineral field being depleted. And this base fully saturated, this base fully saturated almost. We'll see these ghosts moving out. A very dangerous mission being so far away from the army. You do want to send them out ahead and get good EMPs off, but you want your army to be behind that so that way you can capitalize on that immediately afterwards. Protoss finally throwing down those pylons. He needed those a little bit sooner. Work Prism coming out, 2 of them actually, so that way he can have those forward pylons flying around instead of having to set them down and wait for those to warp in. I don't think that the Terran's going to fight here. He actually is. He's going to fight on that tower. He was without, or the Protoss had no vision due to that bush. I don't think there's an observer in this army, but the Protoss is moving in. He is taking out this Bioforce, but it is pushing back with so many Marines Marauders. The Colossi might get taken out here, and that will be very big for the Protoss to lose that much. That is a giant investment that was just taken out. He does have 3 more on the way, but he needs those gateway units to protect those, otherwise they will die very quickly. Warp Prism going out of the side, and we have another one going over here. We'll see what happens with that momentarily, probably. This army just regrouping, getting the Ghost, getting the extra Vikings to take out any extra Colossi that come out. We have a mass of Dark Templars and Zealots. If he waits for the stand to go, oh no, oh, the miss rally on the Colossi. That's a terrible thing when it happens to a Protoss. Personal experience on that one. He might have wanted to send a few of those DTs down to bait out a scan or just do as much damage as possible. He is going to lose these Archons probably to the Bioforce. He's warping in more Zealots behind this and getting those Colossi out, however, so as long as those Archons do take out those Vikings, he will be okay. He is doing a decent amount to this Bioforce with Colossi. He's not going to lose to Natural in this case if that Colossi can get a few more shots off. Archon's coming from the side to clear out the rest of this. He is going to lose a lot of probes here probably, but other than that he will be okay. We see that probe count going up higher and higher. 28 have died in total. But we see a drop, DT drop in the third base of the Terran, fourth base, my apology, that killed off quite a few workers. These Archons pushing back the last few units of the Terran. He has to fall back. He wasn't expecting those DTs. I believe he had another warp prism. That must have been taken out at some point, and I just didn't catch that. This one going back, hiding for a bit. He'll come back sooner or later, I would assume. Back on even supply now. A lot of Archons. Those ghosts are going to be very effective. My bad. Against all of the Archons, and luckily there's no High Templar. Otherwise they would be directly canceled out by those EMPs. We have one shield upgrade up. That's not the most important upgrade at the end of the day, but it is still beneficial to have that. Pylon going down, forward pylon. He's going to slowly move out across the map. He is ahead in supply at this point. Another warp in, and that will be assured. He does take out the DTs at the fourth base and re-lands that, sending out a lot of mules and sending the SCVs back over to that. Either way, he did lose quite a few there. He balanced out the workers lost with that DT drop. So good move there. What is this? He does have a Viking sitting over here. Will push away the warp prism next time. And the Protoss is getting another warp in. He's making a few more probes. He is on 5 bases now. And he is securing this one with a few cannons in case of drops or in case of any Marines coming in. Sensor tower going down. Where is that at? That is at this base. He's really wants to defend against any more DT drops. He doesn't want to deal with those anymore. So he's making sure that nothing else comes over here. But the armies are moving closer together. There's not enough Vikings. There's 8 against how many Colossi? 4 Colossi. You're not going to take them out fast enough with only 8, and he's only on 1 attack upgrade for his Vikings. So the Colossi are going to last a lot longer than what he's going to like. The army's moving in here now. He doesn't have any force fields to slow this down, however. So the Terrans are just going to kite away and kill a lot of those Zealots, but once the Colossi start attacking, you'll see that the Zealot's sacrifice was not in vain. The Archon's doing that AoE damage and hurting a lot of that bio at the front. The Colossi moving in, doing a few more volleys. The Zealots charging and being so annoying right in the face of the Terran army. He's not, I don't see any warp in. Now we have a warp in back, a lot of DTs coming in. He's probably going to make a few more Archons. The bio army being taken out. Terran is down 50 supply. These Vikings being the last line of defense, taking out 1, possibly 2 Archons before they fall. But that is going to be all that they do. Marines coming down, stimming down, trying to take care of this army as fast as they can. These Archons on such low health, they're probably going to be taken out. They get 1 more shot off on that group of Marines, but that's about it. He is down only 20 supply. Terran's down only 20 supply at this point. A lot of Archons made, 5 at once. We have 3 Colossi on the way. Terran just doesn't have enough to keep up with the Colossi and the Archon production. He can do one or the other. He has 2 starports now with those reactors, but he's not making any Vikings. He probably assumes that the Protoss does not have a total of 3 working, and he does not have a total of 3 robotics facilities. I believe he came in here at one point, but he probably just isn't thinking about that at this time. That might cause a problem for him if he does not have enough Vikings to deal with those Colossi. They are going to do a lot of damage to that bio army. Does start his 5th base over here, still under protection of mostly under protection of that sensor tower. He will see anything coming from over here still. Protoss moving to the center of the map, taking that watchtower for map vision. Those 3 Colossi on the way. They will be joining these 3 Colossi. And a total of 6. If he moves out with those, he will be very, very scary to deal with. Another sensor tower going down, I would assume somewhere over here. Where is that? Yeah, it's right here. Okay, right in front of me. So that's going to protect against any drops that are sent from, well, there's a nice line of free airspace for the Protoss, making some observers. Probably just wants to get some vision out, so that way he knows where and when to engage the Terran army. We can look at the unit count, seeing 20 Zealots with 9s and 6 Colossi. Only 2 Vikings out on the field, and they are not in position to deal with this. 3 more do come out, and they will be with the army, but if 8 Vikings weren't enough to deal with 4 Colossi, 6 Vikings won't deal with 6 Colossi. 46 Marines will die pretty quickly if they do get those Colossi and Archon hits off, but they also do quite a bit of damage. This Viking almost flying too far for his own good. 8 Metavats are done and 11 Ghosts. If he can get good EMPs off, he could still do quite a bit to this army before the actual engagement. He's not using them though. He does have them selected. He misses a lot of the EMPs. Only 1 Colossi being actually hit by that. So that's going to be very disappointing for him. He's going to move in upon this army. The Archon's taking out a few of the Vikings, and there's nothing else to challenge these Colossi. The Archon's taking so much damage as the Bioforce moves in against these Colossi, however. They are going to take them out, but at such a large cost. The Protoss army is actually forced back, but he is on now another base. Terran's still only on 5. Worker count still greatly favoring the Protoss by about 20. 3 more Colossi on the way. Another Viking. He still is going to need more of those Vikings. Those Colossi should have been microed back and forth. So many Zealots being warped in though, and they will take out most of this Bio army. Dropping in supply now is the Terran. He is going to pit that up. Zealots cannot hit up. That would be pretty cool if they could just jump up there, but not in StarCraft 2. He is going to fly down here. He will see these bases, and he will do what? He's going to drop on into this base. He is going to scan those DTs, but there's not enough units to really take care of them and the cannon. So that was just a wasted scan and a wasted army. Terran's forced to run away, maybe even losing a medevac off of this. No. Oh, Zealot counterattack over here at the 5th base, or 4th, yeah, 5th base, my bad. He is going to kill this off. The Zealot's getting in the way of the repairing SCVs, so it does not matter. And they will clean that base up. So if we look at the units lost, 28 workers, that used to be a big amount. Now Protoss has taken that lead very far with that counterattack. A lot of units killed for both sides, a lot more Marines, of course, in that 332. This pylon being taken out, but not before 3 Dart Templars do warp in. He is going to have to force out a stand here soon, or EMP them, which also does reveal that stealth, I believe. It's been a while since I played with Ghost. Yeah, cloaked units are revealed. These DTs just being annoying. Protoss has so much gas. He could just throw down a Templar Archives, and he could have a lot better in terms of Archon production. We just have 2 more forming at this base, and this base is now getting a few probes sent to it. The main is mined out. The natural is almost mined out. So many Colossi though, and he is switching into possibly Sky Toss. 3 Stargates going down once. Oh, well, apparently now 2. The Colossi were just a bit too slow and in the way for that probe. He does not want to throw down another Stargate. So a lot less production coming from the Terran due to the fact that he is on only 1 base that has 3 mineral patches, and that's about it. That's his entire income right now. Even with mules, you can't really mine off of 3 mineral patches. So he is going to retake this 5th base, so hopefully he can keep that for his sake. These Colossi being taken down by so many Vikings, 9 of them now, and they're just getting free hits. Everything else is running past. This might be a problem for the Protoss if those Colossi only get 1 or 2 shots off. It's not going to be enough for this large investment that he has made in them. 1 Void Ray being made, another Stargate going down, probably the one that he wanted earlier. A lot of Marines being made, however. We will see what happens. Those Vikings kind of just ran away. They could have gotten a lot more of damage on those Colossi. Just the 1 Void Ray being made, no air attack upgrades, and nothing else from the other Stargate. He is moving in on this army again, though. And those hits do quite a bit, especially against a low health Terran army. He is going to take out a lot of that. The Zealots moving in, they are getting taken down, as well as the Colossi. Both just under 100 supply again. 3 more Stargates going down for the Protoss. He'll have a total of 5, and he's just going to start maxing a lot of Void Rays. But Terran just leaves. The Terran, there was no units over here in this base. There was an Archon killing stuff over here. I mean, he still had enough to take out 1 Archon and 1 Dart Templar. He still had a whole bunch of orbitals for scans. He didn't... Did he know anything about... No, he didn't know anything about the Stargates, but Marines do quite well in general against air units. Very anticlimactic, I'll say that. Unless I missed something big, but I'm not thinking that I did. He had all of his production still going. He was just under the Protoss' supply. But the Protoss was on more bases. The Terran was probably going to lose in the end unless he could hold on to this base and maybe take another one, or just transfer one of these basically empty bases over to a more full base. But due to the probe count compared to the SCV count, the Protoss could throw away those Colossi, even though he didn't take the best engagements. But it was just that was basically an economy game. Terran could fight and micro and beat those units, but he couldn't do it that many times over and over. I don't know why he just instantly left, but maybe the pressure just got to him and he decided that enough was enough. But good game for ImnotChobo. Thanks for the replay.